I think the reason why Arbeloa hasn't mentioned Mbappe's name in this answer is because, well, there are two reasons. One, because he doesn't want to cause a firestorm before El Clásico, which is going to be the most important match he'll manage as Real Madrid's coach, since he won't continue next season. And another, since he doesn't want Florentino to ruin it all. Because if he had said Mbappe in what we're about to hear now, if he had said the same thing but mentioned Mbappe a couple of times there, it would be more than clear. What happens is that it's also clear without saying the name because it's obvious who that's directed at. And to me, it's a spectacular jab. And then he extends it to the whole squad when he says that phrase. A little later on, it really annoys me or it hurts me a lot when I see that other teams run more than we do. Of course, anyway, Arbeloa, you should have said that a long time ago and spared your players so much flattery. I think that's what he was missing. Xavi was missing one thing and you were missing another. What a shame, man, that the coaches who come to Real Madrid in the end, like Aguel said, never really get to do things their own way. It's a pity. But anyway, on the live show, after hearing this, I said, it seems to me like he took a jab at him, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I don't know, maybe, wait, you have to be a little cautious with this. Now, indeed, I see that a lot of people understood what I understood during the live broadcast in that press conference. And I think that here Arbeloa was spot on. Because for a coach, it's impossible. Sit down. Sorry. It's impossible. This is Madrid is starting to play at that time. It's around 9 at night. Mbappe was arriving in Madrid on his private plane. Let's see. He couldn't play. We already know that. He's injured. We already know. But man, that's what I was saying on the live stream. But let's see, how is it possible that your coach, there are still things at stake, not many, but there are still things at stake, and you don't have the sensitivity, that you care more about what's going on down there? Let's be clear. Instead of saying, wait, let's take care of ourselves a little, or let's do this in a more discreet way. And he probably tried to handle it as discreetly as he could, but in his case, it's impossible. Guys, wait a bit. As someone said, I think it was Jorge Picon, he said, well, this is the first time we're seeing a soccer player go on vacation while the season is still being played. And also, you might say, no, this guy has unilaterally terminated his contract or he no longer belongs to this team. Well, and if he wants to take a vacation in May because he doesn't have a team, that's fine, but he's still on Madrid's roster and Madrid is paying him. And even if he can't play, you can't do this, man. You can't do this. We've seen this happen. And days, and I didn't want to get too worked up the other day, but man, really, when he does this, of course. And then there are those who, if we're against Mbappe, then we're with Vinicius. I don't care about either one. No, I don't know them personally. What I want is for them to score goals for Madrid, to play really well, and to win me the Champions League. That's it. They're not going to be my best friends. In fact, I might not even like them. And if they play on my team, well, the same thing happens to me with the Spanish national team, which is full of players. They're not from Barca, and I want them to come and win the World Cup. That's just how I think. Hey, a footballer doesn't have to be someone I like. I just don't have to like them. If tomorrow Vinicius, Chouameni, Fran Garcia, Ceballos, or whoever does this, I'll be saying exactly the same thing about each of them because this can't be done. You can do it, but you really can't. You can do it because, in theory, and as Arbeloa is about to say, let's repeat that clip from yesterday, everyone does what they want within what they're allowed to do. They're allowed to by Real Madrid's medical staff, who haven't been doing well lately. They've been a disaster for the past 3 years. If they've let this guy do all this and more, he got injured again. And Mendy, well, he already has a problem, right? That's really not very normal, but anyway, you get what I mean. But even so, man, tone it down a bit, dude. Tone it down. You can't do this, man. It's just that, really, honestly, respecting everyone's privacy as it should be. So, of course, how do you think his teammates and the coach feel about this, especially in the week when they were about to play? An important match where if they didn't win, Barca would celebrate the league title. That this guy does this, and on top of that, he arrives at 9 at night, right when Madrid is starting their match, in his private jet. Bueno, well, this is what Arbeloa said.
There's been a lot of talk while the team has been playing. They've been in camp. We've seen images of Mbappe outside of here. There's been a lot of talk. I don't know what you think about this situation with the French player.
Look, all the planning for the injured players is supervised and handled by the Real Madrid medical staff. They're the ones who control when they have to go to Valdebebas, when they don't. And from there, well, each player in his free time does what he considers appropriate, and I can't get involved in that.
Sorry, if he says not everyone, but every Real Madrid player. If Mbappe does whatever he wants with his free time and I can't get involved, if it says Mbappe's name, we wouldn't be in the same situation. This would be a bit of a wow. We would have jumped in our seats at that moment. The thing is, right there, we said, wow, he's referring to him. I mean, and now with the second question, that's when he goes on and starts rambling. For me, he was very good as a coach for Real Madrid and as a representative. Real Madrid, but it wasn't necessary. It wouldn't have happened if he didn't want to send a message, and he definitely wants to send one. He really wants to send one, and he had it prepared. And he doesn't say Mbappe's name here because he just doesn't want to get into the comparison between Mbappe and Vinicius, and he says he doesn't want to compare because he wants to keep his position this week and because he doesn't want any trouble this week, the week before the Clásico. But, well, let's see if later, Arbeloa, if the other one says, I'm recovered, on Thursday or Friday, let's see if he puts him in. Let's see if he puts him in. Because we've seen other coaches who, look, what message did they give me against this one and against the other one, right? And in the end, as Tosak would say, the same old guys always play. Do you remember that phrase from Tosak? Well, it might be the same thing now.
Hello, how are you, Alvaro? Javier Herais from Cadena Ser. I'll ask you directly, is Vinicius a player who is more committed to the squad and his teammates than Mbappe?
No, well, I don't make comparisons between players.
And if that's where it stays, that's where it stays.
And well, I think we need everyone. I've always said that since I've been in this position. To win any match, you need the commitment of all the players. I often tell them that it hurts me when we see that all the other teams run more than we do, and not just when we don't have the ball, but it's also something we need to focus on even when we have possession. We have to be a team with a lot of movement, make many more runs off the ball, which is uncomfortable, because to get the ball, you have to make 10 runs, and we need the commitment of all the players.
Now, will he say this to those who don't make runs, to those who, when we have the ball, don't do that, to those who, when we don't have the ball, also do what he asks us to do? Is he telling them? If so, and they don't do it, that's unbelievable, right?
To press, to defend, to attack. I think nowadays, if you want to be a very complete team, a team that's hard for opponents to beat, like I said yesterday, talent alone isn't enough. Well, I like to see when the players understand not only that commitment is important, but that those are Real Madrid's values. When someone talks about what Real Madrid is, how has Real Madrid been built? Well, I think we haven't created what Real Madrid is. Not with players who go out on the field dressed in tuxedos, but with players who end up with their shirts full of sweat, mud, effort, sacrifice, and perseverance. And since this team always brings in the best players in the world, and when they understand what Real Madrid is, what its values are, what has made it great, then talent comes together with commitment and effort. And that's what makes us the best team in the world. But above all, it's because of who we are, because of the way we've built Real Madrid's history.
It's a very clear message because when asked if Vinicius and Mbappe have the same commitment, he adds all of this. Otherwise, if he didn't want to send a message, he would have just said, no, no, no. Today, Vinicius is here, who is very committed, and when Kylian is here, he has also shown it and so on, but he didn't say that. Other times, when players weren't present, he said, no, but so-and-so is someone who gives us a lot, blah, blah, whatever. He has said so-and-so gives us a lot. On some other occasion, he has commented that Mbappe is a very important player and so on. In this case, you can also tell from what he says that he's upset with his player. Come on, I'd bet my arm on it and win. Otherwise, he would come out and say, wait a minute, I want to put an end to the controversy right now. The kid did whatever he wanted. He couldn't help us. He's recovering and so on, whatever. He mentioned the medical staff, but he could have said it differently. Mbappé has been perfect. It's fine, whatever. He hasn't put an end to that controversy. And on top of that, he added all this. Come on, it's obvious. It's obvious. Let me know in the comments what you think. If he discusses more topics like Mbappé or the whole running issue, we'll save that for next time, since I wanted to focus just on this now. He took a jab at him, and he really did, in the most subtle way possible and to avoid any trouble, because he wants to stay this week and because he wants to manage a match at Camp Nou, a Clásico. Now, a really heated Clásico, because if you draw, well, even if you just draw, they celebrate the league right in your face. That's all that was missing after 2 years. For the fifth, for 2 incredible years. Anyway, I hope everything goes well for you. Give a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and above all, comment and tell me what you think. I'll read your comments as much as I can. See you next time. Bye.